Let's be real. This isn't your Sunday school podcast. This is for the ones who felt like they don't fit, who want truth but aren't about the performance. This is Buried Truth, and I'm Drasanna. I tell true stories from scripture like they actually happened, because they did. And the people were just as complicated as we are now. If the Bible ever felt boring or irrelevant, buckle up. You're about to meet the original messy people that God still used for redemption. You ever get stuck in a relationship that was never about you? Like your name barely belongs on the mailbox, but everyone expects you to act like this is your home? Yeah, Hagar gets that. It was the kind of situation that would have lit the internet on fire. She was young, Egyptian, a domestic worker, technically owned by her employer, which already tells you everything. Her name, Hagar, and her bosses, a wealthy elderly couple, Abram and Sarai. No kids, no heirs, and plenty of time for desperation to fester. So Sarai comes up with a plan. She'll give her husband, her servant, quote unquote, to sleep with. Build a family through her, she says. And no, Hagar didn't get a say. This wasn't a love triangle. It was abuse, power, control, coercion, dressed up as cultural normal. And it works. Hagar gets pregnant. But instead of celebration, she gets scorned. Sarai, bitter and humiliated, starts making her life hell. And Abram, he checks out. So Hagar runs into the desert, alone, pregnant, terrified. But that's not where her story ends. An angel shows up, not with thunder, not with rage, but with gentleness. He calls her by name, Hagar. He sees her. And right there in the middle of nowhere, she names God El Roi, the God who sees me. She's not invisible, not discarded, not worthless. She's known. And she goes back, not because she's weak, but because now she knows her worth. She carries that encounter like armor. Her son, Ishmael, and God promises to bless him too, because grace doesn't play favorites. This one hits hard, because how many women today are still treated like Hagar, disposable, background, only important when they're useful? We see it in surrogacy scandals, in Hollywood exploitation, in churches that protect power more than people. But Hagar's story cracks the system open. The God of grace and understanding doesn't sideline the suffering. He sees, he speaks, he stays, even in the desert. So apparently, Chip and Joanna Gaines, America's favorite ship-slinging couple, are under fire again. Their latest fixer-upper project featured, gas, a gay couple. And Christians lost their ever-loving minds. As if God's entire kingdom is going to collapse because two men want an open concept kitchen. Here's the thing. Jesus was constantly criticized for the people he welcomed. The dinner parties, the foot washing, the eye contact with the wrong crowd. We've got to stop acting like proximity is permission. You don't have to agree with someone to love them. And loving them doesn't make you less holy. It just makes you more like Christ. We see you, Hagar, and we see them too. Now, there's a couple things that get me under my skin, and is when the Christian world gets their panties in a bunch because something that they don't agree with, which is their prerogative, they lose their minds. Okay. And let me explain. I didn't grow up in the church. I did not become a Christian until I was 21. I grew up in a really different household than a lot of people. My biological father is Muslim. My mother was raised Catholic, so we went to the mosque and also to mass. And then later she became, what is it called? What am I trying to say? New Age. So that is my background. So, and when I came to Christ, I'm going to give you a little bit of my story. I had just had my son, my oldest, and so this was 24 years ago. And I had severe postpartum depression. He was a surprise. I was young. I got pregnant on birth control. So girls, take your birth control on time. I wouldn't change it for anything because it made me who I am today, meaning motherhood made me who I am today. I wouldn't call my son it. So point being, I had never experienced depression this bad, you guys. Literally after giving birth, I felt like everything was taken from me out of my body. That's the only way I can explain it. And I was depressed, and I mean depressed. And I didn't feel attached to my son. I didn't feel that connection. But during that time, I did the motions, right? I got up, I took care of him and my ex-husband at the time. My husband at the time was my ex-husband now. I have to give him credit where credit's due, is he helped with our son. He would get up with him. He was a good dad. Not the greatest husband, not the most understanding husband, but he was a great dad to an infant. Anyway, so my youngest is a baby and I am just depressed, okay? Depressed and just crying all the time and miserable. And one night on my bathroom floor, I'm just bawling and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then all of a sudden, I see Jesus. And he says, I'm never going to leave you. I'm never going to forsake you. And he picks me up and puts me in my bed. And there were angels around my bed that night. And I woke up and I got a Bible. And how did I know that? This will be a story for a later time. But I had a friend praying for me, Nicole. Shout out, Nicole. Hey, girl. Hey, I see you, boo. And her family just really helped me to understand what it was, what Christianity was, what the Bible said. And then later, I didn't realize that what Jesus said to me, I'll never leave you, I'll never forsake you, was actually in the Bible. And so I knew nothing. And I think that Christians who've grown up in the church, they have this like block of not understanding what real people go through. And I'm getting emotional because it's hard out there. And when they're reaching out, the non-believers, it's because they're looking for hope. And when you shit on them because of things that they choose to do or who they believe they love or who they do love, you should be ashamed. Okay? Now, I'm not talking about, we're not going to go into theology about sin and all those things, because we all sin. We all fall short of the glory of God. Okay? And why is it okay to be able to get divorced so many dang times, but seeing a gay couple is, oh heaven, let me clutch my pearls. Get it together, Christians. Okay? So that's my little rant for that. Whew. Anyway, now to those single moms out there, I see you. God sees you. And Hagar's story just shows how much being seen, being loved, and being accepted changed her future and her child's future. So when I became a single mom the first time with my oldest, it was hard. I was a new believer. I was still going through postpartum depression, still had it for the longest time because didn't believe in therapy and medication. And a side note, if you need medication, if you need therapy, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. God doesn't judge you for that. He uses those, and it helped me get through. It doesn't solve it. It just helps you get to a place to deal with your stuff. And dealing with your stuff means digging through that crap that you went through. Okay. That's a side note. I'm a full believer in therapy, medication, and Jesus. Okay. TMJ. Anyway, so when I was a single mom and I moved, I had to move about 2 hours away from everywhere I knew because I didn't move back home. My ex-husband left 3 days before Christmas and I didn't have anywhere to go. And thank God for my family. Thank God for my mom and my bonus dad, who really is my dad, who took me in. But it wasn't easy, okay? It was hard. Being a single mom is hard. And I don't think people understand that. We didn't choose to be a single mom, okay? I mean, I'm not saying there's not women out there that have chosen that. But we didn't choose it, okay? And so when you try to shame a single mom, like she's out here being a hoe and got pregnant, well, even if you're a hoe and got pregnant, I see you, boo. It's okay. I had my hoe years, okay? My hoe phase. But anyway, point being, give them grace. Let them talk to you. Let them sit with you. Let them tell their story. Maybe help them with their kids. Maybe bring them dinner. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of us single moms, we have this pride because we don't want people to see our shame. And I'll never forget a time where I was on, what is it called? Food stamps or food card. It was a food card. And my son be bougie with his milk, and he had this milk came in a glass container. Okay, so I scanned my EBT card, and I had enough for the food, but I didn't have enough for the fee. I think it's a $2 fee. I didn't have $2 in my bank account, y'all. And the way the lady at the register looked at me, like, just put it on your card. And it's like, bitch, I don't have $2. Okay. And you judging me, at least I'm trying to feed my baby hippie shit. Okay. Healthy. I mean, don't look at the ice cream, but look at all the other good stuff. Anyway, stop judging these women. Okay. Stop. We need to be a shelter for people. We need to be a safe place. Because y'all, we are the safe place. We're supposed to be the safe landing for people. We're supposed to give them hope. Because if we don't have hope, where do we find it? Okay, where? Okay. Now to the moms who are married and single moms, I got you. I see you too. I've been there too. Like I told you, I have a story. My second husband, okay, that's a whole nother episode. I did it all on my own. Granted, he took care of us financially and I never had to worry about working. But yeah, I took care of our son, and he's 14 now, and he's an amazing kid, and I'm grateful for that. And that was an abusive situation that I had to leave in the middle of the night. And so, I tell you these stories because I see you. And I thank God for my story, because for the longest time, oh gosh, I'm getting emotional. I didn't see hope. I didn't see how I was going to get through. I didn't see that I was a good mom because I was a mess. Okay? Hot mess. Hot mess. Hot mess. Hot mess. But when I dug into that vulnerability, when I dug into my trauma, when I dug deep, you know what? My kids see me, and they see a person that has been knocked down so many times but gets up. And the reason I get up is because God has been faithful to me every single day. And now, fast forward, I have an amazing husband who takes such good care of us, who loves us so much, and has taken on my youngest as his own. And my son is seeing what a man looks like. And what a man looks like, ladies, is he's willing to go to the ends of the earth for you. Okay? He's willing, when you got your ass grapes with your hemorrhoids, he's going to bring you an ice pack and some water. Okay? I mean, I'm just being real. You know, all that other shit's sexy, but when you're in pain and your booty hurts from giving birth to 2 kids, even though it shows up 14 years later, having that man love on you and tell you you're worth it. Okay? Do not settle. Do not freaking settle. You deserve it. Now, to you women who have good men, I'm not talking abusive, I'm not talking narcissistic. That's a whole nother conversation, because a man does not treat his wife like that. And I've had to learn that the hard way. But you know what? I had to learn that through therapy, understanding what I deserve. Okay? Okay. That being said, if you have a good man who gets up early every morning, makes sure you're taken care of, is a good dad, is a good husband, is a good provider, and he may not show you love in the way you think he should. He doesn't speak your love language, which, first of all, I do love the 5 love languages. And yes, me and my husband have talked about it because I'm a words person. He is not. But that man shows me every single day how much he loves me in his actions. And actions speak more than anything. You don't need to hear what someone says. You need to see what they do. So if you have a man like that, girls, appreciate him. Hug him. Thank him. Thank the Lord that you have a good man. Because there's many who don't. Okay? And yeah, they might be annoying. Yeah, they might drive you crazy. That's human, because they're not Jesus. Stop trying to make them Jesus. They're not. They're human. But if you got a good man, girl, suck him off once in a while, okay? Help your man out. Because you know what? He deserves a blowjob in the morning at 4 a.m. before work sometimes. Okay? That's a bonus tip for you. Okay? So that's been Unholy Headlines. Here's your gentle reminder. Your story doesn't have to start right for it to end well. Even when the people around you don't see your worth, God already does. Thanks for hanging with me on this one. I know I got a little bit emotional, but I was being real messy, and real stories of my own life. If you've ever felt unseen, overlooked, or like a footnote in someone else's story, you're not alone, and you're not forgotten. Because the same God who met Hagar in the desert, he still sees the one who feels disposable. If you're curious, you can find Hagar's story in Genesis chapter 16. Got thoughts? Got mess? Email me at buriedtruthpod@gmail.com. I read everything, so believe me when I say you can email me all the messy, all the good. Just maybe tell me your story, because you need to be heard. And as always, stay curious, stay rooted in truth. See you next time.